for the FOMO. For the city and the back roads. Got a whole county full of them goats. All from the FOMO and let's go. Hey, it's just for Beulah County. Yeah, right on your head like a bounty. Said I'm from Beulah, they know I'm from Beulah. So let me just go talk about my surroundings. Shout out them Eagles that's out in Geneva. Them Lakers, oh yeah, that's Palmerton and Valley. We from the football chasing these goals. If you in the way, you get taken out proudly. And Jefferson soaring with Falcons. Said that you working, you ain't really working. You see that we working, our hands got a callus. Putting in reps till we moving some mountains. Edgewell got warriors, they won't allow it. Me, I bleed green and gold, they know defeating those dragons who run the whole city. You wildin', and they really bout it. And next we gon' go to Grand Valley. Work like a horse and don't show no remorse. So opponents keep coming, we stack them and pile them. Yeah, and kinda got flooded with Spartans. As soon as they pull up on game day, we park them. Cause we number one in that spot, ain't a bargain. Man, shout out St. John, they be ballin' like Harden. This for the football. This for the football. This for the football.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Crow's Nest. It is week 2 already of this 2025 season. I can't believe we're here already. Football is in full swing. Some teams are right where they want to be. Some teams are trying to get where they need to be. But tonight we've got a big-time guest. It is the first Geneva Eagle on the show since we started so long ago. I'm very, very excited with the new edition of Geneva. I knew it wouldn't take long until we had an Eagle landing right here on this show. And this week, I think to nobody's surprise, if you're a mathematician, just do the math on the carries to yards per carry. It's going to be Bryce Pete, the senior from Geneva. Come on over, buddy. And I'll tell you what, he came out in droves. It's a whole nest of Eagles here in the Crow's Nest. I'm really excited. First of all, Bryce, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you. I just want to thank you and Crow's Nest for hosting this great event. And first and foremost, thank my family, my teammates, my girlfriend, and just everybody for coming out for the support. Thank you guys.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you guys got a whole section back here. You know, it's legitimately an Eagles nest. Let's talk a little bit about these stats because, boy, you had yourself a Friday night. 8 carries, 194 yards, 3 touchdowns, and to pepper in, you go ahead and get 5 solo tackles on top of that. What a night for you heading down to Howland into enemy territory. What was going through your head?
We had a great week of preparation. My dad, he put a great scouting report together on their defense, and then Coach Shimsky, he does a phenomenal job just breaking down the offense and just making sure we put the time in, know what's coming, the preparation, and we had a good week, and it showed on Friday night.
Yeah, you know, you were I know I had heard through the grapevine you were shaking off a little bit of hamstring in week 1. You couldn't tell. You still got in that end zone a couple times, but you went out there, and if my math is not mistaking me, almost 25 yards a carry. I mean, were you running through highways, or what was the offensive line doing?
The offensive line, they do a great job. I mean, every week there's holes to run through, and then just getting to that second level, being able to make a move and just, I don't know, take it the distance. But they do it. They do a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious when you look at, when we go through the leaderboards in Ashtabula County later on in the show, just expect your name to be pretty high up there. You know, a couple games like you've had really make a difference. But, you know, you've run this wing tee your whole high school career, pretty much your whole football career. You've lived in Geneva your whole life. You know, it's one of those offenses where sometimes it is difficult for one running back to kind of separate themselves statistically. And I know that doesn't matter because you guys care about Eagle wins, not stats. But, you know, what goes through your head when you're going out there and, you know, you've got 2 other guys who are doing just as much as you?
Well, I just know coming into the week, the other team, they got a lot to do to prepare to stop all 4 of us because at any point, every single one of us can pop a long run. And, I mean, that's a huge plus. It takes a lot of weight off our shoulders because we got a lot of guys going both ways. But being able to have 4 dudes that can carry the workload, it's awesome. So just making the most of every carry, really.
Yeah, and, you know, the wing tee is one of those offense that, you know, obviously you've ran since you were a young man. But, you know, how would you, you know, to the youth guys, to the youth Eagles, as they're getting ready to, you know, put on that jersey for the first time, how would you what advice would you give them for learning this offense, which a lot of people run, but they just don't run it as good as Geneva?
Yeah. First and foremost, the fakes. Fakes make a wing T. If you're running good fakes, the defense is flowing the wrong way when we're running counters. The safety, he's flowing the wrong way when we're running jet. Just great fakes, and that just makes the wing T running everything 100%. If you make a mistake, make it full speed. And I don't know, just block. You're gonna need to block.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, a little inside information here. I consider myself a football guru. I'm always watching it. And I'll be honest, I don't know how it works as well as it does. I've gone to Facebook, Instagram, anybody would tell me. I still don't know, but I'll tell you what, it works for you. But not only, have you been running the wing T for such a long time and really kind of your second nature, but you come from a long line of wing T and Geneva football players. What's it like being the youngest of this very, very talented Pete group?
It made me better for sure. Like playing with my brothers and their friends growing up, it just makes you tougher. They're always beating up on you, and playing basketball in the driveway, catching a couple bows every now and then.
I'll tell you
it
what,
makes you tougher.
As it stands right now, I might be causing a little scuffle at the dinner table, but right now, the best wing T play right up the gut, open field. Who's getting the most yards in the Pete family?
Oh, it's got to be me.
So, it takes a lot. And obviously, by the time you hit high school, you didn't necessarily have to learn the offense, but there's all kinds of preparation that you have to do to get ready for the year. Coming into your senior year, you knew that, there was going to be a heavy load on your back. You're one of the leaders on this team. What was one of the things or some of the things you did in the offseason to get ready for this red hot start?
Yeah, I knew coming into this year I need to get faster. So I contacted one of my teachers, Mr. McCoy. He's a very knowledgeable track coach.
He sure is.
A big track coach for Geneva for a while. He had a couple of Division I girls, and I contacted him. I said, I need to get faster, coach. And 7 a.m. before lifting, we were in there putting that work in. Me, Jake Clemens, Dylan Burlingham, Brody Ham, we were all in there trying to get faster. And Mr. McCoy, he went all in. He bought in for us, and that was awesome. And I think it's really showed these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, one of the other things that I think is a shining example in Geneva, it's the culture. It's the football culture. It's kind of ingrained into you guys, from the time you're in youth. How much time do you spend, if any, with the younger guys, whether it's junior high, youth, or otherwise?
Yeah, we do a youth night. That was week 1. All the youth guys get to come in the locker room before the game, and then they make a little tunnel for us to run through. After our week 1 game, I went out Saturday to watch them play because, they're always there supporting us, so why not go support them?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not going to lie. Those guys probably are getting some playtime on Friday because you guys haven't made much of a game. But, you guys got a tough game coming up this week. You guys have to invade Normandy. It's a team, I believe, way out on the other side of Parma. What are some of the things you want to make sure? What does Bryce Pete have to do to make sure the Geneva Eagles are going to be successful this week?
Do my job, preparation, make sure I'm ready for Friday night, and just do what we do. Go out there, run the football, play fast, hard hitting on defense, and just make sure we know what's coming.
So, what are some of the things you do outside of football, sport-wise, to keep yourself ready to go?
I play basketball in the winter, and then in the spring, I'm usually just lifting, speed and agility, just trying to get faster and stronger for the season.
So how would you say that basketball has helped you?
Footwork, for sure. Footwork, you're always just trying to play good defense. I'm a defender, so just that lateral movement, that helps a lot.
Yeah, it certainly does. It certainly does. What are some of the things that you're looking forward to the most here in this season? I won't call it the swan song because I'm sure you got plenty of football left.
Yeah, we're just trying to cherish every week at a time. Go 1-0 every week, and that will make you get to a good spot in the end. The end goal is always to make it past week 12. Just keep extending the season as much as you can. Geneva, we never played on Thanksgiving. We're hoping to have practice on Thanksgiving.
Hey, man, that's a heck of a goal. I'm not gonna lie. That's really spoken very well. What does it mean to you to put on that Eagles jersey and that Eagles helmet on Friday nights?
It means a ton. I've grown up here my whole life. My mom was a Geneva graduate. My grandparents, just being raised here, playing youth football, youth basketball. all the sports, T-ball, everything was Geneva. So just being able to go out there on Friday night with the whole community around me and in the stands, it's awesome. All my brothers on the team, it's awesome just be able to do it for Geneva.
Yeah, I got to ask you one more thing before you go. You've got the unique honor, privilege, and sometimes it's a stone to bear, where coach follows you home. So what's it like with that, with having a guy who knows football, inside and out, and particularly Geneva football? How much does that help? And what's it like?
There hasn't really been much bad about it,
Yeah,
to be honest.
Good.
If we have a bad week, we're talking, we're communicating. How do you think we can get better? He's asking me, what can we play this week? What do you think? And I'm just like, I'm evaluating the same as him. So when ideas meet like that, it's usually good things happen.
I mean, there's just so much football in the Pete house. I can't imagine there's a word otherwise. But you guys have a really big week this week, and it's been a heck of a start for you already. I'm sure that there's going to be tons and tons of Bryce Pete highlights. Scott Demos has gotten to call a couple of them, and I'll get the honor later on this year. I can't wait to go watch these Eagles go out there and fly the way they do. But for this week, you are the number one, the head honcho. It's Bryce Pete, our week 2 player of the week, 194 yards, just 8 carries. Thanks so much, Bryce.
Thank you, guys. Thanks to Cronaz, too.
As Comco celebrated 70 years in 2022, we have much to be thankful for. We are proud of the Comco culture as we serve our customers with Comco Care with our premier customer service, quality parts, and on-time delivery. The partnerships we have with our customers and our community are second to none. We thank you for your continued support. We are proud to be part of this community and will continue to offer great jobs for great people.
Change. This one word can make you break out in a cold sweat. But with change comes wisdom, experience, and understanding. At Myers Family Insurance, we can help make changes in Medicare, insurance, and retirement a positive experience for you and your family. We've gone through changes, like our new office and new faces to help our family of clients too.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance. Check us out online at MyersFamilyINS.com or find us on Facebook.
Your culinary adventure awaits at Legends Food and Drink. Experience a welcoming ambiance while you explore our appetizing menu featuring over 20 meals under $20 and over 30 lunches for $12 or less. Our private dining room seat between 10 and 20 at no additional cost. And don't forget our spacious 35-seat bar for your favorite sporting event. Book your special occasion in our elegant banquet room that seats up to 150 comfortably. Legends Food and Drink, a taste you'll remember. Market Street and Route 224 in Boardman.
All right, everybody, welcome back here. Week 2, we get done with that interview with Bryce Pete. As I said, this young man, we're going to go through stats later on in the show. And when you see his week 2 stats, it's going to absolutely blow your mind. Not just the sheer amount of yards, but you got to look into that yards per carry. And this is in an offense where, 3 to 4 different guys can touch the ball at any given time. So you got to make the most of every time you get it. And Bryce Pete's absolutely doing that for this Geneva Eagles team. We'll talk about, we're going to go through some of the games on from week 2 on that Friday. Some teams, like I said earlier in the show, have really hit the ground running, and they've got everything going in the right direction. There are some teams that I know for a fact they're back to the drawing board. They're trying to get things where they wanted it to be. Sometimes that week 1 game can be a little bit hard to shake off. You've got 6 to 8 months to prepare for it. I'm a firm believer that week 2 is really going to let you know what that season is going to look like, because you don't have all that time to prepare for it. It comes down to getting ready the way you're going to get ready for the entire week. So it'll be interesting to see as we head into week 3 already of this year's season what it's going to look like. But let's bring up the results from last week. As I said, there's some teams that have to reset, and I don't think I'm speaking out of turn or out of place when I say that Lakeside is one of them. I've gotten a chance to talk to the head coach. They have a tough Friday night against a exceptionally talented Girard Indians team. 63-18 is the final in that one. Girard 2-0, a red hot start for the Indians. And I'm telling you guys, there are 2 trains that are getting ready to meet here in week 3. We'll talk about that one here in just a little bit. Moving down the line, it's Edgewood representing for the state of Ohio as they send the New Jersey Ramsey Rams back to New Jersey with one of these. And in stunning fashion, if you watch this game, the final score in this one, 41-21. Going into halftime, Edgewood is actually down. Ramsey comes out, really running the ball well, able to get into the end zone, stopping that Edgewood offense. But, those halftime speeches matter. Edgewood comes out red hot. You're talking about a 50-yard scoop and score by Czar Triplin in this game. You're talking about an interception returned for a touchdown by new linebacker Paul Seiler in this one. Obviously, you got the guys, the regular dudes making big plays. J.J. Dufour, Riley Baldwin, Josiah Pope, Javen Pope, who really turned it on in the second half of that one. So Edgewood goes out there in a big way and sets a tone to go 2-0 here in this season. And I'm telling you, they got one of the harder schedules in the county. When you're talking from top to bottom, Garrettsville, Garfield, week 1, Ramsey from New Jersey, week 2. They play Girard this week. They're going to play Lutheran West the following week. It is an absolute gauntlet, and I don't think Coach Cooper would want it any other way, because these games in these first couple weeks are what are going to prepare you for the games after week 10. And after all, that's what these teams are shooting for. The regular season matters, but it's all about who gets to play their last game latest. Talking about a bounce-back win, you've got Conneaut. Conneaut goes 16-13 over Independence. This is not only a bounce-back game for Conneaut, this is retribution for the Conneaut Spartans. They went out there last year to Independence, had a tough night. I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts. If you ask Coach Rocco right now, he's going to tell you the same thing that I'm saying. They didn't have things going the way they wanted to, but this is a Conneaut team that if you overlook them, they are going to get you. And Conneaut comes out there. They're winning early in the game. It was 9-0 at one point, able to put it together in the end and hold off this rush by Independence at the end, trying to steal the game back. Conneaut slams the door. They are now 1-1. St. John falls to Campbell Memorial 6-13. This is another team. I don't know that they necessarily have to reset, but there are some things that I think they're going to want to hone in on. Namely, the run game has been working for the Heralds. This has been something that the Heralds have been trying to establish for the last couple years. I think they have found their guys over the last couple years. Ryan Williams leading the way for them last year. Well, this year they've got new faces in that backfield. Bobby Chenault, who is a hard downhill runner. Chase Newsom, who is a shifty one-cut style running back, big-time playmaker. Just took the offense a little bit too long to get going. Campbell Memorial, they win this game 13-6. I got a chance to speak with their coach a little bit after the game, and it was one where, they're glad to take the win, but it was not the way they wanted to. Both teams were completely riddled by penalties. Both teams had mistakes on either special teams or turnovers, and those are things as we head into week 3 that they're both going to have to kind of get a hold of, because one thing is for sure in football, if you lose the turnover battle, you lose the game. The Grand Valley Mustangs 22-14 is the final over Southeast. Grand Valley moves to 2-0 in this one. Southeast going down to 1-1. This one was a little bit of a surprise for me. I thought Grand Valley was going to kind of run away with this one. Grand Valley is monumentally talented. When you look at that roster, there are so many guys that can make huge plays for them. I wasn't sure if anybody was going to be able to stop them. But this week, what you have is a Southeast team that really came to play, so much so that going into halftime of this one, Grand Valley is losing that game. 13-14 is the score. But Grand Valley getting, past that first half, they come out, get the job done. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you win by 7 points or 700 points. You're still getting that win, and the Grand Valley Mustangs remain undefeated in 2-0. Pymatuning Valley, what a bounce back for the Lakers in this one. And I think what is most surprising for me in this one is if you look at the stat line for the Lakers in this one, they're passing the ball, not just passing the ball, but passing the ball effectively. Justin Britton and Jace Folkman have developed a very good connection between those two, and it's just not something you're used to seeing. It's very cool to see that this PV Lakers team, as the team begins to evolve and you're looking to fill in holes and find new playmakers, that this is what they've done. They've changed the offense around the team that they have. They're able to go to LeBray, get their first win of the season. The Lakers now 500 after a 30-18 win over the LeBray Vikings. And then finally, it's the Geneva Eagles, 56-21 over the Howland Tigers. This is one of those games that, Geneva, this was almost tailor-made for them. Howland does a good job in week one of trying to stop that Niles rushing attack, but they struggled a little bit with that. Enough, though, where they could still get the win. The one thing Geneva is going to do, and the one thing they're going to do well, is run the ball. When you look at the numbers here, Bryce Pete, 8 carries, 194 yards, 3 touchdowns. Caden Proy with 3 touchdowns of his own. Geneva goes out there. They get an early lead. They get some young guys in the later half of that game to get some big time, some real varsity experience. And that's overlooked a lot of times by people. Getting those young guys in, it makes a difference. And that's the difference between a team and a program. And Geneva really setting themselves to show that they are a program. So that was our week 2. Our week 2 games. And like I said, some teams have got to hit that reset button. And sorry, I was just looking through the chat here. Mystic Story. Looks like 2004. Are you reading this? Jefferson. Oh, thank you, Ronnie. I'm not sure how that one didn't make the cut. Jefferson, 51, Waterloo 7. It must have got cut off the graphic. We're going to talk about that one too. This Jefferson Falcons team that has come out in 2 straight weeks and not only won, but dominated in their wins in a passing game. I mean, Matt Webster still getting his touches, still getting into the end zone. That run game is still very much alive and well in Jefferson. But how about Devin Salinas and Mason Khalil? That's another big-time connection right here in Ashtabula County. Khalil is a kid who had to really be baptized by fire last year as he gets thrown into that starting position. He is out there slinging the pigskin all over the place. And the Jefferson Falcons are another team that have taken flight this year. They've got a lot of things working. Coach Jason Root goes in there. He's going to implement his style of football, and it's really, really working well for the Falcons, who are now 2-0 to start off the year. A red-hot start for the Jefferson Falcons as well. And you know what? I do not know why Jefferson is not on this. They are not on this graphic either. Sometimes during the transfer of data, things get cut off for space reasons. I'm gonna have to apologize for that one right now. So you know what we'll do? We'll talk about Jefferson to actually start it off here. So, starting off, not on the graphic, but we're going to talk about Jefferson versus Lakeview. Again, I think it got cut off at the top there, so I apologize ahead of time. That will be updated. They are on the stat leaders, I can promise you that. Jefferson getting ready to take on Lakeview in an old NE8 rivalry game this week. Should be a great game. Again, I'm really, really interested to see this kind of new look, this new style that Jefferson's implementing, with Mason Khalil and Webster out of this backfield. They've really found some things that have worked to a team that, to be honest, has been a mystery to a lot of people. I think with Coach Root coming in, they were wondering what direction is this Jefferson football program going in, and I think the answer is absolutely up. I mean, they've gone out 2 straight weeks, 1 win against Chagrin Falls to start off the year, and then they follow that with a dominant win against the Waterloo Vikings. Now, they're going to have a tough matchup this week, I can tell you that. Lakeview is very, very good. But again, this is a familiar opponent for the Jefferson Falcons. So I'm really interested to see how this one goes. You got to come back on Thursday if you want my picks on who's going to win when we're on zone coverage. This week we're going to be in Beaver, Pennsylvania, live on set. Myself, Greg McAfee, DJ Yoakley, and the man behind the camera is going to be Rob Johnson. So make sure you come back on Thursday to check out that show. Moving our way down through the schedule, Lakeside, who is 0-2, taking on Cleveland Rhodes, who is 2-0. Now, this is one of those games that could really, really do a lot for the Lakeside Dragons. It's been a rough start. There's no ifs or ands. 2 weeks in a row, they've had very, very difficult Friday nights. Cleveland Rhodes is 2-0. It is a high division game where you can pick up tons and tons of points, but more so than the points, you get to dust yourself off and remember that you're a Dragon. So Lakeside's going to be playing Rhodes at home. I will be on the call for this one. I'm really, really very excited to see how this one is going to turn out. The next game, this one may be the game of the week. This one has the highlights and everything you need written all over it. The Edgewood Warriors, who are 2-0, getting ready to take on Girard, who is 2-0. Now, Girard has outscored their last 2 opponents 118-39. 30 of those 39 points have been scored in the second half of those games for Girard. Girard is an animal. And Edgewood, while they've gotten Garrettsville week 1 and Ramsey week 2, this is a big-time win, and this is one that can set the tone for the rest of the year, because Girard is the real deal Holyfield. And if you want to play with the big dogs, you got to get out there. So this one is one you're not going to want to miss. And guess what, folks? You don't have to. It's going to be right here on ysnlive.com. Another interesting matchup on the network. Conneaut heading down to Mineral Ridge to take on the 1-1 Mineral Ridge Rams with Andy Hake and his Rams at 1-1 right now. Mineral Ridge is a team, brand new coach, brand new push, right? They're going to have a new look in how they're going to play the game. They like to run the ball. They like to play fast. Conneaut is a team that wants to get nitty and gritty. They want to keep things inside that tackle box if they can, and if they have to pass the ball, trust me, they can do it. They've got some wide receivers who are well over 6 foot tall. The guy to watch in this game, Isaiah Bowles. Isaiah Bowles is kind of the unsung hero right now on this Spartans team. Very, very talented running back. Luis Cedeno is a wide receiver who has shown himself to be incredibly talented for this Conneaut team. St. John 0-2 taking on Beechwood 0-2. This is a Saturday game. I'll also be on this call. This is a great game for St. John to reset. This is a great game to go out there, get your win, figure out what you were doing wrong, get everything out on the table, get your win, and carry on throughout the season. We're only in week 3, folks. There's still a lot of football to be played. So St. John's got a big chance to kind of change the outlook of the season on this one. But I can tell you this, as a rule of thumb, you can't overlook anybody. I don't care if their record is 0-2 or 2-1, 1-1. It doesn't matter. You still have to win the football game that's in front of you, and nobody is laying down to give you that game. So to the St. John Heralds out there, you got to go out there. You got to get the job done. I'll tell you what, folks, if Edgewood and Girard isn't the game of the week, this next one very well may be. So the Grand Valley Mustangs are traveling or are going to be playing the McDonald Blue Devils at home. Now, Grand Valley has a slow start against Southeast in week 2. The McDonald Blue Devils are a very, very good football team, and they run the wing T. So when you're playing a wing T team, if you get behind, you may not get that ball back. So this is going to be something where Grand Valley is going to have to go out there, let their athletes make the plays. You're going to have to go out there. You're going to have to play fast. And more importantly, you got to play mistake-free, because we've seen more games already in this season that have been determined by the holding calls, the defensive pass interferences, illegal formation, things like that have bit you in the butt. You can't do that. If you want to go out there, McDonald is a very, very good football team, and they've been in the playoffs every year since I started this. So a very well-established program. This is another game you're going to want to double circle. Keep an eye on this one. The Mustangs versus the Blue Devils. That one could end up being a classic. Pymatuning Valley, a 1-1, getting ready to play Valley Christian, who is also 1-1. This is a game I think PV bounces back last week, and they're back to their winning ways. Look for the Lakers, who have assumed a new identity, to continue that, because when it works, they play it. So the PV Lakers have found their way. You got guys like, Chase Geisinger, who's going to be on the Lake Show 2.0 later on this week with George and Chad. Make sure you check out that one. An Andover-centered show for two guys who know PV Laker football and sports in general inside and out. And then Geneva to invade Normandy this week. 2-0 against a 1-1 Normandy. This is a game where Geneva not only can get a big W, they can continue their momentum, but this is 2 divisions above them. So when you are talking about points, you are talking about seeding, you are talking about establishing yourselves as those guys. I jokingly called Geneva last week the Big Red Machine. They can go out there and they can live up to that this week by invading Normandy and bringing back another win for Ashtabula County football. This is one I think Geneva has everything they need to make this game happen, to make this game work in their benefit. These guys know their offense inside and out. They're just flat out talented. They've got a great offensive line, and they've got 4 options in the backfield at any given time that can score the football. Good luck to the Normandy Invaders, because the Eagles are flying into town. All right. Now let's get to both my favorite and least favorite part of the show. It's time for the stats. Now let me put out here this quick disclaimer. The stats that I am giving to you are the stats that have been given to me. So I am at the mercy of what stats are given and when they are given and whether they make that list. Tonight we're going to go over the offensive stats, because the defensive stats I didn't have locked in until about 20 minutes before the show. Nowhere near enough time to get the graphic out. If you are not on here, it is because I don't have your stats. It's nothing personal against you. It's nothing personal against the school. I just have to use the information that I am given. Another asterisk on this: when the stats for the defense come out later on this week, please remember the formula for tackle totals is different on this show than it is in some other locker rooms. A solo tackle is worth 1 point, an assisted tackle is worth half of a point, a sack's worth a point, and a tackle for loss is worth a point. That's how you get your total tackle, and that's how we do it. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for stats. All right, everybody, and we are going to start it off, as we always do, with the passers of Ashtabula County. It feels good to be able to see that. That's right, folks. All 8 Ashtabula County teams. This is the best of the county. Leading the way is going to be Lakeside's J.J. Murphy. J.J. Murphy is 40 for 71, 439 yards. He's got 5 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. Right behind him is going to be Edgewood's J.J. Dufour, 26 for 33. This young man has been throwing darts. 330 yards, 5 touchdowns, just 1 interception for the Edgewood Warrior. And this is one that I was so excited to talk about. In third place this week is Pymatuning Valley's Justin Britton. 23 for 36. He's got 237 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. When is the last time we saw 237 passing yards in PV? I'm telling you, things are a-changing out there, and I love to see it. Coming up next, it's Colby Stiltner, 15 for 33. He's got 236 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception for the Spartan. Jefferson's Mason Khalil. Check out this stat line. 14 for 17. 220 yards, 3 touchdowns, just 1 interception. So that means when he has thrown the ball 17 times, 14 of those have been caught. What a stat that ends up being. Nate Stewart, 6 for 15, 124 yards. Anthony Benedict, 10 for 20, 123 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Another quarterback, well, not quarterback, but another passer in the mix over at St. John, Chase Newsom, 4 for 4 for 35 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. And Geneva's Caden Proy, 1 for 3, 8 yards. But when you're running the ball like that, there ain't no reason to pass. So, that's going to do it for our passers this week. So we move from the guys who are throwing the ball to the guys who are toting the rock. And I think this one comes as no surprise. Your county leader in rushing right now, Bryce Pete. 23 carries, 412 yards, 6 touchdowns. Do the math on that. It is ridiculous. Almost 18 yards a carry for the Eagles' leading rusher. Second in line, it's going to be Edgewood's Javen Pope, 38 carries, 260 yards, 3 touchdowns for him. Conneaut, I was just talking about Isaiah Bowles and how talented he truly is. Isaiah Bowles, 24 carries, 247 yards. He's got 2 touchdowns. It's Maddie Webster, 36 carries, 214 yards. He's got 4 touchdowns for that red-hot Falcon offense. Chase Newsom for the St. John Heralds, 30 carries, 150 yards, no touchdowns yet. But again, this is that newly established run game for the St. John Heralds. Caden Proy for Geneva, another Eagle on this list, 21 carries, 147 yards, 4 touchdowns. Just between Proy and Pete, that's 10 touchdowns in 2 weeks. J.J. Dufour, 19 carries, 141 yards. He's got 2 touchdowns. J. Anthony Williams, 8 carries, 128 yards. He's got 1 touchdown. And Jefferson's Mason Khalil, 12 carries. He's got 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's on top of toting the rock as well as the quarterback. And our final stat of the night, it's going to be our pass catchers. And this is another one. Devin Salinas from Jefferson has come out of the gate running this year. 10 receptions, 220 yards, 4 touchdowns for the Falcons' leading receiver. Devin Salinas has come out like an absolute gunshot for this Falcons defense. He's scored in both of their games multiple times. And what a target that ends up being for Mason Khalil over in Jefferson. Josiah Pope, right behind him, 9 receptions, 158 yards. He's got 2 touchdowns. Jace Folkman, here's another PV Laker. With all those yards, you got to have somebody catching it, and that's Jace Folkman. 10 catches, 145 yards. He's got 2 touchdowns. Coming out for his first game of the year, fresh for the Lakeside Dragons, it's Terry Brown. Terry Brown, his first outing, 8 catches, 143 yards. keep your eyes on Terry Brown. He is a big target with an absolutely massive catch radius. He is so incredibly talented. Luis Cedeno from Conneaut, 7 catches, 106 yards, 1 touchdown for him. What a target that he has ended up being for Colby Stiltner out of there. One of the younger guys who has stepped up and making plays for the Spartans this year, Luis Cedeno. And then it's the Slim Reaper, Riley Baldwin, the quiet storm. When you're worrying about Pope, he's busy over here running into the end zone, getting catches, making interceptions. 5 catches for him, 73 yards. He's got 2 touchdowns this year. Davion Gaines, 7 catches for 71 yards, 1 touchdown for him. And Anthony Severino for the St. John Heralds. He's going to be on there, 4 catches, 71 yards. Now, as I stated earlier, folks, this list as it currently stands is one that is based on the stats that are available. We will do another stat drop later on this week. Most likely Wednesday is what I'm shooting for. So we get the defensive leaders out there, hoping to get some more updated offensive stats because there's some questions there. So we will have another stat drop. But as it stands right now, those are your leaders in Ashtabula County football. It's been a heck of a week already. It's been a heck of a season already. I'm so very excited about where we're going and where these teams are going. We've got a lot of teams that have a chance to change the narrative this week as we head into week 3. You can go out there, get a big win, and reset everything from the previous 2 weeks. The other teams, it's time to carry on now, Wayward Son. You got to continue the motion that you've got heading forward, making those wins, and ultimately getting into this playoffs and continuing your season. Again, it's all about who plays their last game, who plays their game latest, and also who won their last game for the year. That is going to do it for this week's episode of the 440 Sports Show. I want to send a huge shout out, as I didn't get a chance to do it in the beginning, to Dan Sposito and Sposito Insurance for sponsoring this show and making it happen live on location. I also want to send a huge shout out to the Detour family for hosting us this again this year in this beautiful restaurant. I'm telling you guys, there is no such thing as a bad meal here at the Crow's Nest. Everything I've ever gotten here is top notch. It's wonderful. The prices are great. It's a great atmosphere. The staff is amazing. You will not have a bad time right here at the Crow's Nest. And also to Ronix, who has sponsored the sweaters, the hoodies that we give out to these athletes every single week for their Player of the Week. It is an honor, a privilege, and I'm thanking God every day for the support of this community and businesses like the ones I just mentioned. If you are interested in a sponsorship or you would like to help out, you can reach out to me directly on any of the social medias. You can also go to ysn@info. And check it out there. Go to ysnlive.com under advertisements. If you're interested, I'd love to talk to you. So, as always, my name is Sam Torres, and now and forever, folks, this is for the 440.
This for the football. This for the football. For the city and the back roads, got a whole county full of them ghosts. Hey, it's just for Beulah County. Yeah, right on your head like a bounty. Said I'm from Beulah, they know I'm from Beulah, so let me just go talk about my surroundings. Shout out them Eagles that's out in Geneva, them Lakers, oh yeah, that's Palmerton and Valley. We from the football chasing these goals. If you in the way, you get taken out proudly. And Jefferson soaring with Falcons. Said that you working, you ain't really working. You see that we working, our hands got a callus. Putting in reps till we moving some mountains. Edgewell got warriors, they won't allow it. Me, I bleed green and gold, they no defeating no dragons who run the whole city. You wildin', and they really bout it. And next we gon' go to Grand Valley. Work like a horse and don't show no remorse. So opponents keep coming, we stack them and pile them. Yeah, and Connie got flooded with Spartans. As soon as they pull up on game day, we park them. Cause we number 1 in that spot, ain't a bargain. Man, shout out St. John, they be ballin' like Harden. This for the football. This for the football.